Alright, it is day 12, which is our last full day at Disney World, or Orlando, Florida.
Aww.
Aww. No, but we were taking this day to do a little bit of our laundry because Disney has washers and we have no idea when the next place will have washers. Like all things Disney, it's very high tech. You scan a thing, you have an app. The app connects to the washer that you're washing in, and it tells you how long you have remaining. So it's all pretty cool. After that, I'm planning on going, so we got the wash and it's just drying now. After that, I'm planning on going to Epcot for a bit. It looks pretty cool. I was looking at the map. It seems to have like different countries of the world all around the main lake. And obviously there's the main tower in the middle. So that sounds like a bit of fun. And then, yeah, we'll be back here. I'll show you some of that throughout the day. Yeah, we'll wrap up at the end.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, sounds good. See you then. Bye. So I just made it to Epcot, and I must say the entrance is pretty impressive. I think the most impressive of any of the 3 theme parks so far. The main thing that you see immediately upon entering is this giant sphere. Now I don't know if you can get a good sense of the size from this camera, but the sphere is huge. It's reaching, I think much higher than, or possibly around the height of the Disney Castle, but it's entirely, built up out of this sphere. And I think they're calling this Spaceship Earth. I think the whole idea is that Epcot's the future, and they're traveling, and this is going to be the future of Earth and all that kind of thing. But also, and I'm not normally a nature person, but the way they've done the colours of the plants around here, especially this front little bit over here, where they've got some very vibrant greens and some much darker crimson reds. I really like how it looks, and I think they did a really good job here. So I actually say, and there's a bunch of like cherry blossom trees and things at the end. It's probably my favourite entrance of any park so far is Epcot. So yeah, I just want to show you that. I'm now heading to Spaceship Earth. I have a feeling they'll tell us a little bit about what's in the rest of the park. And then I'll have a look around and see some of the different rides. I know there's like different countries around here, like there's the Italy section, and there's Mexico and a couple other things. So I'll definitely be checking those out, and I'll show you that. And also to show you some general scenery as well. So enjoy! Alright, so I finished Spaceship Earth. It was not what I was expecting. I thought it was really like, oh, let's take off. Turns out it was a bit more of like history of planet Earth, trying to go back to like Neanderthals and stuff, and then going through times. Ancient Egyptians appeared quite early, and then Greeks and Romans and all that. And trying to show the progress of technology and communication. And then it asked us a little bit about the future. And you got to do this little survey at the back of the car in front of you. And it asked, what is it you care most about? Is it work? Is it home? Etc. What kind of things do you do? Do you work by yourself? Do you work in groups? Do you have your best ideas alone? So you answered a bunch of questions, and then it put together your specific future, where they sort of put together clips that answered, or showed you the answers to all the different points that you mentioned, and shows you how the technology might impact your future. Which I thought was pretty cool. As soon as we came out, I saw all of this. And what these are is a bunch of interactive booths or games basically that are meant to show you the future of Earth in different spaces. So like transportation gets you driving a car game where there's like self-driving AI that's able to help you out. There's a medical one that tries to test you and test your needs and things like that. There is one over here that is energy, where you have pucks and you move around virtual, you have sticks and you move around virtual pucks. So it's all pretty cool and pretty impressive, and it's definitely an enjoyable thing that comes out of that spaceship ride. So this place seems pretty cool. Next thing I'll be going to is probably going to be one of the more exciting rides. So I looked them up on the map, and that sounds good. And then I'll report back about that soon. So yeah. So I just finished the ride called Test Track, which is one of the higher thrill rides. The way it works is you design a car, you make a couple of choices, and then you go ahead and get on the ride, and the ride will test your car. So it's like a car racing circuit. It tests power, it tests capability, efficiency, all this kind of thing. And then you come out, and after you come out, they let you design an ad for your car. So you pick the attribute you want to emphasize, so in my case it was power, the narrator you want to have, so I selected a superhero, the location you want to set, and the kind of music that you want. I chose action thriller. You hit play and then you wait for a little bit, and then it eventually loads and creates an ad for you and plays it back. So I'll show you my ad in a second.
For a superpower hero like me, it's bench pressing skyscrapers. For everyone else, it's driving 400 horses with the press of a pedal. Powered by Chevrolet. It's what makes you super.
And it's a little bit of fun. I actually really enjoyed it, and I happened to get on this ride with no wait time whatsoever because I was a solo rider, and it turns out they had a special line for people who are riding by themselves. I'm really liking this solo rider system, Disney. Keep it up. Yeah, and I'll see how the rest of the tracks go. But this one was pretty cool. So yeah. Okay, so they had mentioned that this ride was sponsored by Chevrolet, and I didn't think too much of it because the name appears every now and then, and there was a show car back there in that room I was showing you, but I thought I'd ignore it. But I can't ignore this. They have an entire Chevrolet showroom, and they're showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got about 10 cars in here. 10 Chevrolet cars in the building. It really is sponsored by Chevrolet. You can only imagine how much money they put up to get this space and to get this ride up in the first place. So a little bit of behind the scenes. Disney, sponsored by Chevrolet. Anyway, I'm off to one of the other rides, and I'll see you soon. Bye. I just went on a ride called Mission Space, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but it turned out to be a simulator where you get in what feels like a spaceship, or it's meant to look like a spaceship, and you're in a really tight space and you bring the strap down, and you simulate and sort of have to either control the spaceship or press buttons sometimes. But it felt really weird, like it had that G-force simulation, as if you were going quite fast, even though you were in that sort of small cockpit area. And it was really intense. It was actually a really cool thing. And similar to the last one, right outside, they have an entire space area. There's a bunch of screens with quotes over here. There's a game that people play over there. There's a place for kids just to play around over here. There is another game that literally is Expedition on Mars, so you get to play around here. And then of course the photo cards, where you'll be able to see your photo taken from that ride on something else. So it's all a really cool system. Yeah, so far I'm quite liking it around here. Yeah, so Mark is here now. Hi Mark.
Hi.
How are you doing? And we did a couple of rides together, so the same ones I did before. And then we came across this store, which is called Cool Club, I think. And it has these different drinks across the world.
It's like Coke flavors around the world.
Yeah, although not necessarily Coke, but like Coca-Cola own. And it's actually kind of cool. It's free. You can get a cup and you can try different flavors. You can mix flavors if you like. I've mixed the Beverly from Italy with the Viva from Moldova, and I think it works out quite nice.
There's actually a really nice show. I'm actually thinking of getting it. It's basically Coke in other languages. So if you have a look at that.
That's true. So this is basically a Coca-Cola store. So Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, whatever that says. And you can probably assume it says Coca-Cola. And there's lots of different hats and things. So I know we know some people who like Coke. John, that's you. If you're that kind of person, this is definitely the place to be. Otherwise, if you just like having free drinks and trying new stuff, this is a great place to visit too.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting. I'd recommend. All right, it's about 8 p.m. and Mark and I have just sort of found a seat looking at the lake. You might be able to see looking at this. And that is because the fireworks show that happens at 9, yes, that is an hour away, it has a view of the lake. And it looks like seats are sort of very quickly being taken up, so we thought we'd take the time to reserve a spot. Seen a lot of today. We've seen a bunch of the countries of the world, as you've probably already seen, or if you haven't, I'll show you now. Right, and so it is kind of a bit weird to find like Morocco and its next door neighbor Japan like right next to each other, but it's quite cool and it's nice, and you can see very much the local culture in the food and the gifts and everything at the places.
I will say though, there is a very, very big temptation that you'll get the travel bug when you see a place like this. When you see different cultures all put together, and I don't obviously think that they based it on like actual geographic location, but there's a beauty to seeing the differences between different cultures. And for me personally, it's like a little snapshot of heaven. Like no one will be separated by culture or whatever. We'll all just be one big happy family and one big people.
Yeah, now, not to separate people out, but do you have a favorite country out of everything we've seen?
Oh, that's hard because again, I think Jacob asked me this question earlier. Out of the 3 theme parks, how would you rate them from 1 to 3? That's actually a very hard question because again, they have their own details. Like Epcot has this huge display of all of these countries put together, which is so beautiful, and it has like pretty good rides as well. And then the Magic Kingdom is obviously very magical, very Disney themed, so it has its own, you know, ways. And then Hollywood Studios, it seems like a distant memory now, but again, like just like I think one of the things that Jacob and I realized along this trip is they do everything, really do everything bigger and better. You can see why, you know, people love living here.
Now onto that question that Mark said was a hard question. I did not find a hard question to rank. I think Hollywood Studios is definitely my number 1. Epcot I think is my number 2, and I put Magic Kingdom in 3rd. I think Magic Kingdom would be higher if you were a child because there's a lot of like kids rides, or if you're really into the Disney, like classic Disney stuff. Otherwise the other ones are good. Like if you like Frozen, Epcot has the Frozen thing in their like Denmark, Norway section. You know, and if you like Ratatouille, that's here too in Epcot. So I think Epcot does a good job of incorporating some Disney stuff, but also like actually interesting sites and countries and all that. So it's my second favorite at the moment, but I'm a bit biased. I got a lightsaber at Hollywood Studios, so that's probably affecting it. Alright, so that's all from us for now. We've been talking for a while, but maybe we'll show you a little bit of the fireworks tonight, and then we'll have a debrief back when we get to our resort. So see you then. Bye. Alright, we're back in our room, and the main thing that we've seen since the last video is the light show. What do they call it?
Illuminati.
Yeah, no. International Illumination or something. But basically it was sort of meant to be a, hey, we're all different countries but we're united together kind of thing, and loads and loads of fireworks. So much fireworks that honestly when we left it was entirely just smoke and smell of gunpowder.
To give you an idea of what it was looked like for the guys back in Sydney, remember the Sydney bushfires and it just clouded Central Station? Think of that but with fireworks essentially. But honestly, I have never seen a bigger firework display. Like, not only were the fireworks themselves massive, but by the end of this thing, the whole sky was lit up. Like, I've been to Australia Day fireworks, and it doesn't even come close. Like, it was phenomenal. Yeah.
For me, it reminded me why I dislike fireworks. They can be quite loud. But anyway, I think at the end, does that change our rankings of places? I think maybe it pushes Epcot to number 1 for you.
For me, I was having a hard time because it was a draw between Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and like I said in the previous video, they have their own uniquenesses about them. Like seeing that spark just fly over the Disney castle, similar to what you would see before you watch a Disney movie, or even like in modern Disney films where it kind of spirals around the castle and there's fireworks popping around it. Just seeing that come to life. Yeah, they even had a Tinkerbell ziplining from the top of the castle. So that has its own uniqueness, like the Disney magic. This had, like, Epcot had 1 or 2 Disney things, but it was more about the countries, how we're all unique, how we're all different, how we all come together. There were some weird themes throughout the end, but apart from that...
It is a Disney
but...
thing where apparently death becomes a big part of it.
Yeah, so for me, just seeing the epicness of the spectacular, that's kind of edged out Epcot over Magic Kingdom, which I didn't expect coming into this. I thought Magic Kingdom would far outweigh all of the other ones.
So Epcot surprisingly high in our rankings, despite both of us not really knowing anything about it before. So recommendation for you, come to Epcot regardless of sort of what you're interested in. Epcot along with the other things. So that's it for tonight. Tomorrow we're doing a long drive to about Louisiana, and then the day after a drive to Texas. So it's probably at least 9 hours of driving, like solid. It's
back to the driving.
Yeah, gonna be a long way. So we'll probably see us in the morning for a bit of a time lapse throughout, and like see basically what we eat throughout the day. We're hoping maybe we might be able to see a show in New Orleans, but it will depend on what time we get there.
I kind of want to see if we can go to a jazz club. That would be really, because I think New Orleans is known for that. Don't quote me on that because I've never been. But yeah, hopefully that'll be cool. And if you haven't noticed, I got a new shirt.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I got a Walt Disney shirt. I figured I'm getting a couple of things from Disney for friends and family, so I thought, why don't I get something for myself? And shirts is usually my way to go, as I mentioned in the when I got the Niagara Falls T-shirt. But yeah.
And I got a pin decorated by someone in Epcot. They basically just asked to write my name and then asked if I had a favorite Disney character, and they drew. Eventually, I told them, "Why don't you just do Darth Vader?" So they drew Darth Vader and some Star Wars things on there.
And I'm such a dum dum. I forgot my pin. I didn't get to you yet.
Yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, we'll see you for tomorrow morning, and then we'll see you for the road trip. So enjoy.
Laters.
Bye.